Welcome, friends. Today, we're doing another fragrance rotation video for the week ending the 30th of March, 2025. Madness. That's right, my friends, once again, we are back with another fragrance rotation video at the week's end. So, what kind of week have I had? Let me look at you. It's been quite interesting. I've worn quite a few things that I rarely wear or haven't worn for a while, and there's a couple of former favourites and that sort of thing. All good stuff. So let us start on Monday. And on Monday, I wore this. Viking by Creed. This gets an absolutely shocking rep. You know, it gets an absolutely shocking rep from people who thought it should be like better than Aventus or more like Aventus, or they just weren't fans of it because it wasn't Aventus. You know? Fuck them. This is a fantastic fragrance. It is a spicy lavender, rose, peppery, clean fragrance. It's fantastic. It really is. A lot of people compared it to Old Spice. I don't get Old Spice from it. I suppose there's an Old Spice vibe, but I don't get Old Spice from it. I think just because it's got a boat on the front of it, like. It's quite bracing. It's fresh. It's a little bit peppery. It's like a minty, peppery kind of thing, you know? There's an argument that I may very well make in a video one day about how this is the last true Creed, or the last of the original Creeds, you know? Creed has suffered a monumental decline since this fragrance came out. It should be studied. It's been out for roughly 8 years, 7.5, 8 years. People talk about batches and stuff like that. It's fucking bunch of wizards talking about that. The fucking losers. Creed batch things are... It's nothing to do with the ingredients, man. And everything to do with them refining, quote unquote, the formula to make it cheaper. Anyway, performance is good. It smells good. I like this. It's a good fragrance, you know. It is a genuinely good fragrance. It's perfect for this time of year as well. That minty lavender spiciness. It's fantastic for early spring. Okay, what else is fantastic? The next fragrance is fantastic for every eventuality. And this is Dior Homme 2011. This is a little bit more ambery. It's a little bit broader than the original. The original is much more fine-tuned. This is more sweeping. You know, it's a big purge. It's fantastic. This is an awesome fragrance. This is the Demarche reformulation, the original one. Lots of iris, lots of not furry iris. It's quite round though. It's quite sweet. There's chocolate. The performance on this version is fantastic. But again, another house that has been bastardized over the last 10 years. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. Both Dior and Creed. Completely devastated. But this is from an era when Dior was genuinely one of the best fragrance houses out there. Full stop. I don't know what prices of this version are going for now, but I can imagine it's very silly, you know. What a great fragrance. An absolutely great fragrance. Wednesday. Wednesday I wore something different. Wednesday I wore, a vetiver from Etro called Palais Jamais. This is one of the best smelling fragrances I own. Birch, bergamot, Petigon, green leaves, vetiver, oak moss. It's very green. It's fresh. It's got some smokiness. It's got some aromatic herbalness. It's just a brilliant, brilliant fragrance. Very hard to find. Especially this version, the old version with the round labels. All the perfumes from this house are made really, really well. You know, they're all absolutely top rank fragrances. Even if you're not like into the specific fragrances themselves, you know. This is one of the best. This is an incredible perfume. And you can expect to see it more and more. One of the originals as well came out in 1989. I don't think this is a bottle from then. I'm just going to put that down there because it's acting funny. A bit wobbly. Okay, next up we have our second creed, but it's very different. This is Aberdeen Lavender. Aberdeen Lavender is an awesome fragrance, massively underrated. You used to be able to get these at discounters for like 100 quid. The value, whoa, absolutely stunning. Made by Julian Raskin, would you believe? A little bit aromatic at the top. It's got fougere type qualities, you know. It's aromatic, bergamot at the top, and then it's got like a floral lavender heart and patchouli. Allegedly there's leather in the base. I don't really get that if I'm being honest, but this is a lot of fragrance for relatively little money. The prices are now creeping up. This line, very unfortunately, got discontinued. I wish it hadn't been discontinued because it was really good. They did a geranium, was it a vetiver geranium, I think, which could have been stealing from Hermes. Equipage geranium, I'm not sure. They did an Asian green tea, which was fantastic too. Just a really good line. And they killed it. It mustn't have been selling. So we, the population, have to take our share of the blame for that. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. This is a tremendous perfume though. Is it powdery? It's just the right side of powdery. Oh, it's so good though. It's so good. And you can see, I mean, look at the dent I've put in this. Look at the dent. Not a lot of perfume I've used from this bottle. It's fantastic, you know. It's bright and breezy. Next, my friends, you will have to believe me when I tell you that this is the original L'Instant de Guerlain Pour Homme au Extrême. It is in this bottle because my friend Eugene sent me a bottle of L'Instant au Extrême, and I put it in with all of these other bottles, and when I closed the cupboard, it cracked. And I was like, oh no, save the juice. So I did save the juice, and I had to chuck the bottle away because it was cracked. Disaster. But he very kindly sent me this bottle. This was made in 2005. It's 20 years old now, my God. I remember when this was only 10 years old. I remember when it was not even as old as that. Made by the late Beatrice Piquet, who really could have gone on to make a lot more perfumes for Guerlain. And I can only imagine she would have done a lot better than what's being offered at the minute, because whoever's making them at the minute isn't doing a great job. This is like a licorice top with tea and chocolate and patchouli. It's like a chocolate patchouli thing. There must have been some chocolate and patchouli kicking about in LVMH at those times, because Dior Homme's got that same thing, that cacao chocolatey, slightly powdery, dusty sort of thing going on, but lovely. You know, it's not gritty. It's very fine. It's very, very fine, you know. Absolutely gorgeous. This is it's gone through a couple of different iterations since this bottle, which was the one with the black rims on the sides, you know. This was then in the Listerine bottle, which is, I've got the empty bottle over here. I did a review on this. This is one of the best fragrances. I actually prefer this version, would you believe? The little bit more sparkly at the top. I get a little bit more of the elemi. Really good. Really, 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 really good. Really good. Don't like those new square bottles that they're in now because, one, they're a bastard to hold and spray. Two, they are reformulated and they're just not as good as is often the way. Okay, next got a bit of a surprise for you. Yesterday I wore a Serge Lutens, and this is 5 o'clock au gingembre because it was cold. It was cold yesterday. This is a 2008. Big tea. Cinnamon. A little bit of ginger, not too much. Honey. I get some honey, patchouli, lots of cinnamon, lots of tea. It's a gorgeous fragrance. The cinnamon in this is similar to the cinnamon that's in Rousse by Serge Lutens, which is also an absolutely brilliant fragrance. This is Christopher Sheldrake at his finest for Serge Lutens, with the cinnamon and the tea. Gorgeous. Very coherent, very rounded, very well made. And the smell's fantastic, you know. I love this stuff. Strangely enough, I've got loads of backups of this one. And I'm like, I don't know why I've got so many backups of 5 o'clock au gingembre, because it's not like my favourite Serge Lutens. I love it, but it's not my out-and-out favourite, so that's a bit strange. Anyway, last but not least is my scent of the day, and this is Vintage Paddock. Vintage Paddock from 2004, damn it. Look at that. There it is. Saute Hermes. Some kind of horse show. They've got bottles in the boutiques now if you're lucky enough to live anywhere near that kind of shit. You know. Very, very limited release. They only put it on for about 3 weeks every year. They only put it on 3 weeks every year when the horse show is actually running. So they have a 2025 version, which is the same. I got a couple of bottles for some people, and one of them sent me a sample, and I can confirm it's the same perfume. I've sprayed it a few times now, and I'm wearing the one that I've got today, and it's the same thing. There's nothing changed there. So I call it vintage because mine's it says 2024 on the bottle. How silly. But yes, that's it, friends. I hope you have enjoyed my fragrance rotation, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.